Alright, everybody, Min-Max Munchkin here with kind of like half-prepared, quarter-prepared rant story, recollection of events that just transpired like 3, 4, 5 hours ago, maybe 6. So basically what you're looking at here is my clock, which I just played in a level 21 shot. We had another Sorlock as well, which was loosely based on the healing blaster. I mean, the player didn't really take my healing blaster concept. She was more like, let me play a divine sorcerer. So then I told her, well, at least take one level in Hexblade so that you can at the very least have, like, you know, medium armor, shield, all of these goodies. But yeah, she was very important for us. And then we also kind of like had a level 20 artificer, not kind of, but we did. He played Battlesmith. It was, you know, it was fun. So like a little bit of a tidbit, my character and his character, I don't have his character sheet here, he made it on the paper. But basically, he played a female character, I played a male character, and we got married by the divine sorcerer. She cast ceremony on us, and then the divine sorcerer, well, her character was also kind of she was all right. So yeah, basically, let me see, like I didn't even prepare on properly for this. But yeah, I'm just kind of like gonna half wing it in this video because I was like, do I make a script? Do I not make a script? And I think it's best for me to just dump my thoughts before they all disappear from my brain. I mean, I already kind of like half remember whatever happened. It was tense. It was tense. It was a tense fight. We fought these two monstrosities of fiends, which were like, honestly, like if you're a DM who watches my videos for overpowered, maybe broken character concepts that you wanna use against your characters, like maybe you have like level 15, level 20 characters, those kinds of parties, like high level parties. Honestly, I don't think you need anything other than these two. These are crazy, dude. Like Sulkatesh and Raktul-Kesh, these are like these overlords from Eberron, I think it's Eberron. It's Eberron. It's crazy, dude. These two things just completely, I mean, it was very close to a TPK. If it wasn't for the lucky death saving throws of me and the artificer rogue, it would have been the assassin rogue, it would have been, yeah, I mean, it would have been a TPK. Or I mean, if I didn't save I mean, I kind of died. I didn't die, but I did die. I mean, it was a lot of things happening, though. These high level fights, level 15 plus fights, especially level 20 characters like this one, like the Hexblade Warlock, Divine Sorcerer, Sorlock, you know, the kinds of characters, yeah, you can expect for both you and the DM to just completely fail. You know, certain rounds you don't make the optimal spell choices, you don't make your decision making is gonna be suboptimal because there's a lot of things happening. Like, there's a lot of spells going on at the same time. Various magical, non-magical, spell, non-spell, who the hell knows effects are just intertwined, intermingled together, and you just kind of like lose track of things. I was kind of keeping track of things on my own end, but even though I was meticulously noting down all of my buff spells and effects that were going on my character and my simulacrum, because I mean, I had my wish spell, which the DM allowed me to use some time before the day we entered into the 3-level dungeon during this one shot, during this level 21 shot. So yeah, he told me, yeah, I mean, it would have been, he would have had enough time to cast wish, and then with wish produce simulacrum, which is a level 7 spell. Basically, like, long story short, if you don't know, it makes a copy of your character, but this copy has half the hit points, and long story short, these hit points don't replenish other than like very specific, you know, spell effects, very specific abilities, or like you just straight up need to dump some gold into it to heal. But that's details. Let's just kind of like try to focus on the big picture. Give me a second for me to open up the Assassin Rogue. I don't even know why. I feel like I might need it down the road while I'm explaining all of these things. And yeah, as I've said, I'm already rambling. It's gonna be probably a long video because, you know, I didn't make a script for it, and when I don't make a script, my thoughts just go off rail completely, and I just kind of like lose myself in some weird things. But yeah, like let me just kind of like try to open up the videos. Where's my healing blaster? Is YouTube gonna find this video? Yeah, obviously it is. Okay, nice. So basically she played something like this, close to it, not really. I played this character, which ended up at 28 hit points by the end. I'm gonna explain why I probably should have had more hit points than this before I finally managed to kill the big... This thing is nuts, dude. This is... Oh man, this is... You don't need any of my characters to challenge your party. Just put this... Maybe put a Shield Guardian with it, because the DM also decided to give a Shield Guardian, you know, bind the Shield Guardian. One with Sulkatesh and then one with Rock Tulkesh. Why do I have two Shield Guardians? I have two Shield Guardians. Yeah, let me close one of them. Master's Amulet. So yeah, they each had it. Why? Well, because these Shield Guardians heal. They have like auto regeneration. And every time... If we, for example, dealt damage to a boss while ignoring the Shield Guardians, which also kind of have 142 hit points. For level 20 characters, that's not a lot, but if you combine it with like 475 from here, and then 478 from here, with like their 23, 25, 22, I mean, with Shield spell, it can be, it was 27 for a lot of the fight. These Shield Guardians served as like damage sponges, because, I mean, that was at least the idea. Because every time one of these would take damage, in theory, the Shield Guardian would split the damage between itself and its master, its bound. What is it like? Bound to an amulet, and the amulet wearer. So yeah, basically the DM's idea was to keep the Shield Guardians there to just kind of like negate some of our damage, because all of the damage that the Shield Guardian is taking, it is regenerating 10 hit points. So we have a history with Shield Guardians. One of our players, I mean she, basically, I already forgot her name. I'm very bad with names. The Healing Blaster-ish kind of character, you know, Divine Sorcerer, Hexblade Warlock, had a Shield Guardian of her own. So yeah, we had a history with it, so the DM was like, yeah, you know, your characters know that these guardians are there to just kind of like be a damage buffer, kind of like negate the damage a bit. So in the beginning of the fight, we all decided, yeah, let's just kill the guardians first, because if we don't kill these guardians quickly, they're just gonna be healing 10 hit points every round, and then let's say you deal 70 damage to what's the name, to one of these two fiends. Well, that 70 damage is gonna, 35 of that is gonna go to the Shield Guardian, and then 35 of the damage that the Shield Guardian took is basically 25, because it heals 10 hit points. So yeah, like we decided to kill the Shield Guardians. We kind of like pretty quickly killed them. If you watched my Clock video, you would know that I based this character heavily on the time stop spell. First and foremost, I mean, it makes the complete sense thematically. The name of the class is Clockwork Sorcerer, right? Clockwork Magic, Clockwork Sorcerer. So it makes sense thematically, it makes sense in terms of like the features, mechanics. You can go watch that video. If I remember later on, I'm gonna link it down in the description. I mean, heck, I can just kind of like find it, right? Yeah, let's do that. Clock, min-max, Munchkin. Luckily, YouTube finds my videos there at the top. So yeah, it's this. I basically played this character with the Sorcerer 18, Warlock 2. With some modifications to spells, obviously some magic items as well, like a lot of magic items. Relatively speaking, like 4 of them, so... yeah, so let me kind of like quickly talk about my idea. This is not the item that I recommended in this video. So in this video, the item section, I don't really even remember where it is. Yeah, there we go. So you will not see it. So while I was like scrolling through the items, I got to this idea, right? So with this item, you basically make the fort, whatever you want to call it, which has 100 to 200 hit points depending on the type of damage that's coming its way. Most of the damage coming at it was supposed to be magical, but it didn't take any damage. Whatever. I'm gonna tell you quickly. So my idea was, yeah, let me put myself into this fortress, and with my Staff of Power, which gives me +2 bonus to, well, spell attacks primarily, spell attack rolls, Eldritch Blast, right? Also armor class and saving throws. This helped. Armor class and saving throws not as much. I mean, it did help, but armor class was clutch in many times. Even though these fools had like what, +18 to hit, plus what, like +17. Yeah, they were hitting us most of the time, even with the shield spell. But yeah, basically my idea was, yeah, let me like time stop. Like let me cast time stop. Right, that's the first thing I do. And then immediately plop this thing out of there, put myself in there, and then just kind of like with the rest of my time stop turns, however many I get them, I would be casting like Delayed Blast Fireball, well, Global Invulnerability maybe, because that's the item that's the spell that you get from the Staff of Power. But yeah, so like just buff myself with all of these spells, like you know, freedom of movement. I don't know, like doesn't really even matter. It depends, right? Maybe cast haste. I don't know. It was dependent on the situation, but without going into too many details about that, that's basically what my idea was. Well, things quickly turned sideways, very very sideways for us, because this thing had this. It's, if you pause the video and read it, the damage was nuts. I mean, the DC 26, like even the rogue, the what's his name? The rogue, the assassin with like a million bonus to dex save. Even he was failing, but yeah, the damage wasn't as much of a problem initially. The anti-magic field just completely wrecked us. I put the fort out there, right? I put it in there. By the way, the room is like 400 by 400 feet and like 50 feet up in the air. It's a big ass room. 400 by 400 feet. It was basically like the entire battle mat was the battlefield. And I didn't honestly know that this is gonna happen, right? So when the anti-magic field happens, let me like quickly open the spell. It just completely suppresses. It suppressed, right? There we go. So all of the magic is suppressed. All the magic but the artifacts, right? So the artifacts are the only magic items, except those, yeah, that are, or deity, that are not affected by anti-magic field. So this is gonna be important, so just stick with me for now. Like I'm trying to like just stick with me. Hit the like, share, and subscribe. You know, just send this video to somebody. I think it's an interesting story. You know, it's not often that a lot of us play level 20 characters. I mean, I know some of you play level 20 one-shots. I honestly, like, very rarely play even level 20 one-shots, and this is one of my very few characters that I played at level 20. But anyway. Yeah, this was the basic idea. Darren's Instant Fortress, put myself inside of it, maybe somebody else comes in as well. I plop all of that with the time stop spell. Like I have enough turns to use my action to both plop the Darren's Instant Fortress And as you may already know, activate Trance of Order, maybe even plop down Hex Warrior by the very end, like that's the last thing that you do during the time stop, because obviously the time stop spell, once you affect any creature during its like instantaneous duration. So for everybody else, the duration of the spell is instantaneous. I'm kind of like quickly gonna go over the mechanic of the time stop. But for you, who cast time stop, you have like 1d4 plus 1 turns. These are normal turns, right? You can move and cast and use actions as normal. This means your bonus action, and your movement. So I used quickened meta magic, which is somewhere in there. There we go, quickened. So I turned my time stop, instead of the 1 action casting time, I cast it with a bonus action, right? I quickened meta magic, right? I quickened it, which turns a 1 action spell into a 1 bonus action. So now my time stop is a bonus action, which means I still have my action after the spell effect of the time stop spell is over. And the spell effect of the time stop spell is that you get these additional turns, which basically happen during the casting time of the spell. And since we've just turned the casting time of the spell into 1 bonus action, I mean, I did, at least in the combat, you still have your action to do something, right? And following the basic spellcasting rules for 5th edition, if you cast any spell that has a casting time of 1 bonus action, no matter what, whether it's a cantrip or a leveled spell, the only thing that you can do with your action in terms of spellcasting is a cantrip. And obviously, I mean, Eldritch Blast, that's the biggest damaging spell that you have, is the thing that I did, right? So that was the idea. And then obviously the Artificer, which was basically my wife, was also supposed to join me, right? And then after she joined me, like, it was this whole idea about, yeah, let's just kind of like, let's be a turret, right? Like, we are now turning ourselves into like a mobile turret where she is casting, she's like shooting arrows and stuff. Sorry, like she was using, I mean, yeah, like his character was using pistols, guns, I don't know, something like that, which were magical, some like custom item which the DM gave to him. But obviously things quickly turn very sour for us because of the anti-magic field. And all of this stuff, the fortress, my buff spells, everything got suppressed, right? Because the magic of if the magic is not originating from the artifact or a deity, the magic is suppressed. It is not dispelled, it's just temporarily not, the effect of those spells that last for like a minute or an hour are temporarily, they're just gone, they are not in effect. So now we have to adapt, right? So now I leave the anti-magic field, like it's a big ass field. Yeah, the area of each arcane burst, like 40-foot radius sphere. These were like the big anti-magic field radiuses. And like basically half of the room was, like a third of the room was under the effect of the anti-magic field. So now I leave, but I'm out there in the open, as is everybody else. And now, like, shit just hits the fan. Like, we are getting bombarded with chain lightnings, fireballs. My wife gets eventually killed by power word kill because she's below 100 hit points. The divine Sorlock, she has some bullshit broken artifact, which works in anti-magic field, but it kind of doesn't matter because she has to reposition herself. So she is casting like a bunch of spells, like fireballs at level 7, 8. The artifact that was given to her by the DM was broken, but these two idiots are so overpowered, these two monsters, these two fiends, that even that broken artifact that the DM decided to give to her, I mean, it was just an even playing field, you know, like, she had the most power of all of us. Even I didn't have as much power as her, because she just flat out ignored her the damage immunities and condition immunities of everything. Like both. Her artifact basically negated all the immunities to everything. Damage, condition, whatever. It came with some detrimental, side effects, but those weren't as bad as the fact that she was able to just plop Meteor Swarm for like a bunch, I don't even know, like 700 million damage. So now we are fighting, right? We are getting dropped to 20 hit points, we are getting dropped to 50 hit points. She is casting twinned heal spells, right? Basically, she's doing what I recommend in my guide. Which, by the way, you can download this. You can download this on my Patreon if you're interested. It's not mandatory. I basically showed you this entire file in the video here, so you can just kind of like, pause the video, scroll through it. It's not mandatory. As I say in all of my videos, it's not mandatory. It's 100% optional. But if you do want to drop like $10 a month, the option is there for these files for you to download. It's just what I do. But anyway, yeah, so we are fighting without going into too many details. What happens in the very end is that I'm at 28 hit points. And also, yeah, by the way, during this whole time, we fight for 10 rounds. The whole fight is like, the fight lasts 10 rounds. No joke. Like, we are fighting for 10 rounds. And like, it took us, like 3 to 4 hours of real life time. It's a big ass fight, but it actually even didn't take that much time. There's like 4 of us against 2 of them. I'm at 28 hit points, but I'm at 28 HP, but I forget the blink spell. So that's the first screw up on my part. Because obviously the most details I remember are about my own character. I forget about it. I don't roll blink, D20 for like, I don't know, like 6 out of... I think I only rolled 1, to be honest, because I cast blink for almost the entire fight. Because I cast blink during the round 3 or 4, I didn't manage to cast it during my first time stop, I didn't have enough turns to activate all of these buffs and stuff like that. And now I'm left with the option, right? We did manage to kill this guy. We did manage to kill him. Barely. We did. I mean, honestly, if you go to my character over here, first and foremost, the Divine Sorlock, ignoring immunities to all damage types with her super OP broken artifact, which basically just evened the playing field for us against these 2 fiends, right? She's doing a hell of a damage. I'm not even joking. She did probably like easily 30% damage, probably maybe even more. I don't know. There was 4 of us, but she was outputting so much freaking damage. It's insane to these 2 enemies, to these 2, fools, to these 2 idiots. And we managed to kill this guy. Because even with the 25 AC against range attacks, my thing works, right? Why does it work? Well, with my inventory, with my Staff of Power, which gives me +2 to spell attacks, and my Rod of the Pact Keeper, which also gives me 2 spell attack rolls with Warlock spells, my Eldritch Blast is basically +15 to hit, right? +15 to hit paired with the Trance of Order, which basically, as you can read it from the screen, gives me all of my attack rolls, all of my D20 rolls are minimum 10. On that roll of 10 of the D20, I add my Eldritch Blast. So basically, all of my rolls are 25. Minimum. Doesn't matter if I roll with disadvantage, doesn't matter if I rolled with advantage. 25, I'm guaranteed to hit all of my attacks against this guy. So this guy kind of, he was a problem for us. This was kind of like a problem. This was a problem as well. He did a lot of legendaries. It was, yeah, it was a problem. But as you can see, like, his stat block is insane. But we do manage to kill him. Long story short. This bitch, 22 AC, with shield, is 27, right? Because shield spell plus 5 to AC, 22 plus 5 is 27. So even I, with the minimum of 25 to hit with Eldritch Blast plus Trance of Order, minimum 25 guaranteed, I'm like missing, dude. I'm rolling 8 attack rolls, normal rolls. I can't concentrate on darkness, and I can't concentrate on darkness and Globe of Invulnerability. I turned on Globe of Invulnerability to protect myself from her and his spells, because they were doing some bullshit high damage. I mean, these are just... honestly, we didn't metagame, and now that I'm looking back at it, honestly, like, just objectively, rationally speaking, I didn't need Globe of Invulnerability, but I just didn't know how many Chain Lightnings, Fireballs, Lightning Bolts, these other spells, I just didn't know which spells this fool had, right? So I was thinking, damn, like, what if he casts, you know, Finger of Death? What if he casts this? What if he casts that? And yeah, like, there was a lot of thought involved into what to do, so I just decided, screw it, I'm gonna cast Time Stop again. And during that second Time Stop, and also, yeah, by the way, remember, I don't even know if I mentioned this. The DM gave us epic boons. Now, I kind of forgot what other characters said. I think one of them took hit points. The Rogue and the Artificer had like 200 plus hit points, easily, like 250 plus. I took this. So with this and my wish, I had like 3 to 4 level 9 spell slots. So I was able to cast a bunch of time stops. By the time we are over, by the time we get to this point where I'm at 28 hit points, even though I should have probably had like maybe 60, 70 hit points if I remembered that I had Blink on this character. Like this whole time, I'm not rolling the Blink. I completely forgot about it. Even though I put it on the paper, like I just took a paper out, put all of my spells, all of my buffs, like one in a column. I just forget about it. There's like a bunch of shit happening. It's like total newbie mistake, but like these high level characters, it's insane how many shit's going on, and like combined with all of this nonsense, I forget. So now I'm at 28 hit points. Everybody's down. My wife, the Artificer, dead. Power word kill from this fool killed her, right? Power word kill, Artificer dead. Rogue, Assassin, at 0 hit points, rolling death saving throws. The Blasting Healer, the Divine Sorcerer 19 Hexblade 1 character, dead as well. Dead. Just completely dead. Failed her death saving throws, took some damages, dead. I'm the only person there with 28 hit points thinking, what the I'm not gonna drop the F-bomb for the YouTube algorithm, I don't want to get punished, but yeah. What the F-bomb? What do I do? So I'm thinking, I can probably counterspell her, right? But I don't know, I honestly don't know at the point whether her counterspell is just a 3rd level counterspell, which it is. She could only cast at will 3rd level counterspell, but I didn't know that. So I was thinking, if I get within 60 feet of her and cast my 4 Eldritch Blasts. By the way, at that point I had 0 sorcery points. My sorcery points gone. I don't know why it still says 2. I was at 0, and these from the feet, yeah, they were gone. I was just keeping track on the paper. All of these sorcery points, they were just gone. I had 0 sorcery points, so the only thing I can do at this point, 28 hit points. This thing, I don't know how many hit points it has. The DM tells me it is very much damaged. But after we dealt like 400 and something damage to it, I'm thinking it's like... I mean, it could have easily had 50 plus hit points. So this is what I'm thinking, right? So with my freaking Eldritch Blast, if I cast Eldritch Blast, by the way, yeah, I didn't have Hexblade's Curse because I was also knocked down to 0 hit points at some point. So my Hexblade's Curse is gone because until I die or am incapacitated, once I get dropped to 0 hit points, I'm basically incapacitated, right? Unconscious, incapacitated, everything. Like you're rolling death saving throws. Before the Divine Sorlock died, she managed to heal me up just enough for me to be at 28 hit points on round number 10 of this freaking insane fight that we are fighting, right? So going back to this, I don't know how many hit points this shit has. 60, 80, 20, 30, I just don't know. I don't know. So I'm thinking, alright, inventory, what do I get? I have Eldritch Blast, which is not guaranteed to work because even with 25 to hit guaranteed, which it does hit 22. Will I be able to reliably, like shield? I don't know. Oh yeah, I just remembered right this moment. I was unable to get within 60 feet of her. I was unable to get within 60 feet of Sulkatesh. So I'm sitting at like 70, 80 feet away from it. I cannot counterspell its shield. I just cannot. Now I'm thinking, alright. Misty Step, move, like just everything, just dropped everything into the move, right? I don't know, I just managed to do some teleportation spell, I don't even know. I don't know. I just managed to get within her, I don't even remember how. I think I had like... Yeah, but like my main problem was I don't know how many hit points it has. Like the DM is telling me, yeah, it's like damaged. It's like took a hell of a lot of damage. I mean, we damaged this thing crazy, like 400 plus damage, Like, so that's the situation. Round number 10. I have 28 HP because I'm an idiot moron who forgot to roll blink the 20s, so I probably should have had more HP, but whatever, right? I don't know how many HP Sulkatesh has, 20, 30, 50, 70. We did damage it, but like alright, so think of it like this. Let's say we even know that we dealt like 400 something damage. Who's to say that the DM, like, you can even think of it like this. What if the DM just gave it like, 50 more hit points? Even if you meta game this, even if you like just pull up this stat block, I think it's perfectly reasonable for a DM to bump up the hit points up to like 500. 550. I think that's perfectly reasonable for like level 20 fight. So now I'm thinking, like, what do I do? Eldritch Blast? Eldritch Blast is like, basically 4 rays. Each ray dealing, what, like 1d10 plus maybe 1d6 from Hex spell, plus Agonizing, because I do have Agonizing Blast, right? I mean, Agonizing Blast plus 5, Charisma. That's like what, 40-50 damage, maybe a bit more. But what if this thing has like 70-80 damage, right? Let's actually do the math. I don't even remember. 5 plus 5 plus 3.5, that's like 9 plus 5, yeah, that's like 14 times 4. Yeah, I mean, I can do 50 damage. I can do 40, 50, maybe 60 damage. But is that enough? I don't know. Spells in this thing. Cone of Cold, sure, it deals 80d8 cold damage, but I mean, come on. This thing, I didn't even know. I honestly didn't know, but now that I'm looking at it, cold resistance, so like, what's the average of 8 times 4.5? That's like 36 if it saves, that's half, that's 18 if it's resistant, that's 9 damage. 9 damage, that's not enough. That's not enough, so what do? I take my Staff of Power, I somehow get within 5-10 feet of Sulkatesh, right? I don't even remember how. Misty Step, maybe far step, maybe like quickened. I don't even remember. It was like so many shit, so many things. And I'm just like, yeah, this is the biggest damage I can do. That's the biggest damage I can do. And remember, all of these other characters are within 30 feet of Sulkatesh. Rogue is with melee rogue is right there, right there next to Sulkatesh. My wife, the artificer, level 20, dead. The other Sorlok, divine Sorlok, dead. This is what do I do? This is the best guarantee that I kill this, right? Because why? If I get within 10 feet of it, 8 times the number of charges of the staff. I didn't spend the single charge off of this thing. This entire fight, I was like, I'm not gonna. Oh shit. Oh, okay. I did spend some. I did spend 6 charges. All right. So I just forgot to. If the DM is watching this, I'm sorry. I just completely forgot about this. So 14. Okay, let's see. Even if I knew 14, right? Remember, this whole time I'm forgetting about my blink, so I should have had more than 28 hit points, right? So this is like do or die situation. All right, I counted 20 because I forgot to put this to 14. I just completely forgot to spend the 6 charges. I just forgot. It's my bad. The DM, Osiba, if you're looking at this, I'm sorry. I just forgot, dude. Honestly, I forgot. But let's see, 14 times 20. What's that? No. It's not 20. It's what, like 8? 8 times the number of charges. What's the damage? 8 times 14. That's 112 damage. So I'm thinking, you know, if it passes 56, but it's a guaranteed 56 damage. I didn't think about it, but like I was thinking more like 20 charges, right? I thought I had 20 times 8. It was 160. He was gonna pass. I knew that. She, I don't know. They. I was thinking 80 damage. Sure, I was wrong. So, but still, 56 damage, you know, that's good. You know, 56, it's a guaranteed damage. There's like no way this thing doesn't take this damage, because I know this thing is not resistant to force damage. It's not immune to force damage. I did a bunch of Eldritch Blasts. Is it force damage? Did I screw that up again? Did I actually screw this up? Yeah, force damage. There we go. I didn't screw that up. So I break the staff. Deal 80 damage. I shouldn't have dealt 80. It should have been 56. And the DM tells me, you could have killed it with Eldritch Blast. You know? You could have killed it with Eldritch Blast, because why? You don't need 80 damage. You know? Even though I can't... Now I know that I can't have 80 damage because I cast the Globe of Invulnerability on myself. 56 is like, it's like more than double than the 21, because the boss, after I break my staff and deal 80 damage, what should have been 56. Now, I just now figured that out. Sorry, DM, again. The DM tells me it had 21 HP left. So now I'm, damn, dude. Damn. You know? Because right now, all of this damage, all of it, it's going into the rogue. It's the only other character left. The rogue, the assassin rogue rolling death saving throws. It fails. It fails it fails one of the death saving throws because it takes damage. I roll my 50% chance. I fail. I don't get instantly teleported, plane shifted into random plane of existence. I suffer the explosion. I make another mess up. I fail. You know, I fail the 50% chance to not take a retributive strike damage, right? I failed it. I just failed it. So, for some reason, I just didn't see this. I skimmed through this text. I didn't see this. I thought I was also taking this. So what happens is I take 8 times 20, right? I take my 160 damage. It doesn't kill me, because if in order for me to die outright, I have to take what, like 164 plus 28. I have to take 192 damage. That's what I'm thinking. But actually what should have happened is 16 times 40, right? So 16 times 14, I should have taken 224 damage, so I should have been dead. But since I'm thinking I'm not dead because I just completely forget about this, I'm rolling death saves and the rogue is rolling death saves, right? At the end I'm gonna explain why this didn't really matter in the end, but it's kind of fun. So like this is a tense situation. The rogue has like one failed death saving throw from the damage of the retributive strike. The other two characters are dead, and I'm at 0 hit points. So now I'm rolling death saves, and the rogue is rolling death saves. I roll, I pass. Rogue rolls, he passes. I roll, I fail, but since I was trying to play it fair the whole time during the fight, the DM awarded me inspiration because during the fight I kind of forgot that my Hexblade's curse was off. That was the reason I got the inspiration. So I completely forgot that my Hexblade's curse was gone, because once you get dropped to 0 hit points, you're incapacitated, right? Yeah, that Hexblade's curse was gone, so I dealt like way more damage than I should have. So like the Sulkatesh took like 50-60 more damage, I don't know, like 40-50 damage more than it should have from my Eldritch Blasts. So that's the reason I took that. The DM gave me the inspiration, and now I'm using that inspiration on my failed death saving throw. I have one fail, one success, right? One success, one fail. I use inspiration. We home rule inspiration instead of giving you advantage. We home rule inspiration in our games, so that if you fail, we home rule it. So that if you fail save, ability check or attack roll, you can re-roll it. You know, this does make it a bit more powerful than the inspiration is made officially by the rules of 5th edition, but honestly I think this makes more sense. Right, I mean, just giving you advantage, I mean, sure, it's good, but we play like this. This is how our tables play in real life, and we just roll with it. I don't, you know, you can hate it, you can love it, you can agree with it, you can disagree, I don't care. That's how we play 5th edition. So I re-roll, right? I pass. So I have 2 successes, 0 fails. I roll again. I fail. So 2 success, 1 fail. Rogue succeeds on 2 death saves, but has 1 from my retributive strike. Maybe even 2 from a failed one before. I don't really remember. It's a fuzzy. I don't really remember. It was like 10. So we were, dude, it was like do or die. This was it. This was how our characters live. I'm gonna tell you why it kind of didn't matter in the end, but just stick with me, right? Just stick with me. This is gonna last for like 15 more minutes. I know this is a long video, I know, but just stick with it. So basically, I fail again. It's 2 fail, 2 success. I have 1 more roll, no inspiration. Now I have this like weird relationship with my dice. I know people don't believe in this, but people who play D&D with me know that I have no luck. I really have no luck. Like everybody tells I'm like unlucky, but if for whatever reason whoever's watching this video ever plays D&D or any RPG game with dice and randomness with me, you will know that, like, you will realize I have no luck. I mean, I cast like, I have no luck. Alright. My D20 rolls for this one shot, like average, I'd say was 7, maybe 8 at best. So, you know, like, And I had like I had like, I don't know, I had like 10 rounds. I had like 100 D20 rolls for the entire one shot. I'm not even joking. Like, between my saving throws, ability checks, counter spells, whatever, and the myriad of Eldritch Blasts, I had like easily, maybe even more than that. My average 8 at best. So I'm thinking, goddamn, which dice do I use? So I'm not gonna lie. So, only one of my plastic dice is completely balanced. All of my other ones are weighted, but you know, like, even with weighted dice, you're not guaranteed to roll anything. Like, you're only guaranteed to roll. One of the sides is gonna be rolled on top more often than the other sides, right? Because of the imbalance in the weight, like the density, the imperfections during the process of making those plastic dice. You know the drill, right? A lot of D20s and dice in general are not really balanced. So I'm like, do I roll my only balanced die on this, which is like completely random? Or do I take one of my weighted dice? And one of my weighted dice, the blue one, right? The blue one, weighted, serves me best for some reason. Even though it rolls on a very low. I don't even remember which one digit number it rolls usually to when you put it into salted water. But it usually, like, in real life, it kind of rolls well. Like, sometimes it screws me up. Like, in certain sessions, I just never roll above 4 with it, like 4 or 5. But, like, during this session, during this one shot, it was kind of like mixed. I had some very bad rolls with it. I had some very good ones. And I'm thinking, yeah, between my green, between my red, between my white, between all the other ones, which had, like, the white die served me well. It's also weighted, but it was like whenever I really needed a roll during this entire one shot, the white one always failed me. So I'm like, yeah, put my faith in the blue die. Weighted, not guaranteed to get a good roll at all. I constantly get very low 1-digit numbers with it. But I'm feeling it, right? I'm feeling it. And I succeed. Now I'm just unconscious with 2 failed death saving throws and 3 successes. Both me and Rogue are alive. The DM rolls in the open. By the way, if you don't know this 5th edition rule, once you are unconscious from getting knocked to 0 hit points, you wake up after, you know, oh, I just knocked out my microphone, sorry for that. You wake up from 0 HP unconsciousness after 1d4 hours. I think Rogue was 3, I was 1. I was definitely 1. But the DM tells me just at the very end of my 1 hour unconsciousness, I'm waking up. I'm in between, like, totally unconscious and lucid, right? I'm hearing steps. Somebody is coming. I'm like, shit, dude, like, are you really gonna TPK us after everything we just did? You know, I'm like, look at me, dude. I have, like, what? I don't even have any spell slots. Everything is spent. Like, I have nothing, dude. If I wake up, I'm at 1 hit point, right? I'm at 1 hit point. That's all I have. I don't have any heals. Healing potion, like 2d4 plus 2. Yeah, like, that's not gonna help. Long story short, I wake up and I see 68. It's very close to 69, but DM rolled 1d100. That's the number he got. 68 random undead fiendish, you know, just random, usually like creatures that you would associate with some evil, you know, like undead, skeletons, mummies, maybe some devils, you know, fiends. And I'm like, shit, dude, am I dead? Are we just dead? And he just tells me, you know, they come in front of me and bow down to me. Well, he said to us. But basically, in my mind, I'm interpreting it, since I'm the only one standing on my feet, since I'm the only one at 1 hit point at this point. Everybody else is either dead or unconscious, right? They bow down to me, and then he tells me, you know, you are the new dungeon lords. You all get Dungeon Delver feat and the Dungeon Master boon, which I think is the official one, right? I think it's the official one. Maybe he made it, I don't even know. I honestly, it doesn't matter. Something which is either official or doesn't matter at this point. And I'm like, damn. But what happens after that? I'm like, and I ask him, dude, like, my wife is dead. The Divine Sorlock is dead. I give my healing potion to the rogue, so now the rogue is at like, what, 7 hit points, doesn't even matter, but the rogue doesn't have any healing spells. I don't have healing spells. And I also spent both of my level 9 spell slots, right? I only have 1 here. I didn't know how to put 1 more level 9 spell slot in here. If somebody knows, let me know in the comments. But yeah, basically, like, if you remember going back to it, I did take Boon of High Magic at the very beginning of this one-shot. So I had 2. I spent both of them for time stop, right? I had to buff myself up, to give myself the most damage I could with like Hexblades, Curses, Hexes, in Globe of Invulnerabilities, whatever, right? And he tells me, if I roll like, I'm gonna give it like what, 50% chance, something like that? 25-30% chance. I don't even know what he rolled. And yeah, he was like, if you get lucky, one of these like 68 undeads is gonna have some spell that revives one of the dead characters. And I'm like, dude, revive her, like, and I'm not even saying my wife. I need her. I need the blast, like the Divine Sorlock. I need her alive. I know she has one more wish, right? And yeah, that's basically what happens. She wakes her up. One of the, I don't even know which one. One of these fiends, undeads, aberrations, whatever they were, had some spell for revive, and that spell was actually, you know, one of the 68 various evil subordinates of us, the new dungeon lords, had reincarnate. And he casts it, I don't even know, they, whatever, I don't even know the gender. They cast it on the Divine Sorlock. And she casts Revivify, she casts Raise, I don't even know. She you know, like, brings my wife up to life, brings her back to life. And only then I remember my simulacrum never died. He only got temporarily suppressed in that massive anti-magic field cast by Sulkatesh, you know. And I just remember after all of this that it's still alive. After 1 hour, after 1 hour is passed, now I'm back to 1 hit point, and my simulacrum is back. I think it had like 32 hit points. It had enough hit points, right? And I'm like, yeah, dude, like, screw her, like, I'm just gonna revive my wife myself, you know, like, so I cast revive. Long story short, I should have died, obviously, like, rationally speaking, I should have died, because what, I took like 14 times 16, I took like 224. I should have been dead instantly. Like, I didn't have nearly enough hit points. Like 28 plus 164. was what, like 192? That's less than 224. But basically, long story short, the DM said, screw it, you know. You didn't use Blink, I'm gonna rule it like this, it doesn't matter. My Simulacrum had one level 9 spell slot left. And he would have easily cast Wish, right? Because remember, I have 2 spell slots. I have 2 level 9 spell slots. So when I make Simulacrum, that Simulacrum has 1 level 9 spell slot, and my Simulacrum can use his level 9 spell slot to cast Wish and make a Simulacrum of myself, right? So that's basically what I did. I took a long rest, I had both of my level 9 spell slots left, and my Simulacrum, which only had 1, cast Simulacrum of me, and now I have a Simulacrum. By the way, yeah, we home rule just like Adventure League, you know. You can only have 1 Simulacrum, period. You cannot like have infinite Simulacrums. That's just bullshit. That there's no point to that. It's a clear loophole in the rules. So yeah, long story short, you know, in between that, my Simulacrum can easily revive me. I can long rest, I can cast 2 wishes, revive both her, the blasting healer. She can cast wish on my wife, I can cast my second wish on my wife. We're all alive, you know, everything is good and nice. We go right into the sunset. We are the new dungeon lords. We rule this shit. And yeah, that's basically it. In the end, it kind of didn't matter that we messed up the rules. Nobody was playing optimally. Everybody was making suboptimal choices, forgetting about their spells. Me, the DM, was forgetting about his abilities. Nobody played optimally, but in my experience, that's what usually happens with level 20 characters, especially when you play them in a one-shot, and you're using a character concept which is kind of complicated. You know, time stop, plus all of these abilities, plus all of these items, plus everything, plus the homebrew items, plus... It's a mess, dude. But, yeah, it was super tense. Like, it was... I was on my feet, everybody was on their feet, we were yelling, it was like 3 AM. We woke up an entire freaking building, you know, nobody was able to sleep. So she, you know, like, I'm not gonna say her name, but yeah, the player who played this character, you know, kind of like the Divine Sorlock, she was saying like, shut up, you're too loud. It was fun, I don't know, like, I just wanted to make this video. I know it's too long, you know. If you're still watching, if you're entertained by this, please hit the like button, you know, for the YouTube algorithm. Maybe even subscribe if you haven't yet. There's a button in here somewhere where it's like a bell icon. Press it to get notified of my future uploads. Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it very much. Very tense, like it was super close to, you know, like just the fact that it had 20 hit points left while I had 28. Even though I should have had more, but at the same time, honestly, I think we did more damage to it than we should have. I don't know, I just have that nagging feeling that we forgot about something that dealt damage to it where it shouldn't have taken damage. Also, the DM wasn't optimal with his choices. He was forgetting his legendary actions. He was forgetting about this and then all of the other stuff. Even this one is a bit less complicated, but yeah, like it's a mess. It's a mess. So yeah. That's the end of this video. Like, share, comment, subscribe. If you want to download this file or all of the other files that I make about these characters, you don't have to go to my Patreon. You can just watch the ends of my videos where I scroll through these files. You can transcribe them yourself or pledge into the Magical Secrets tier. Download all of them. Yeah, that's pretty much about it, you know. That's it. Min Max Munchkin out, and talk to you soon.